everyone, this is Kelly from The Truth in Story, and today is day 10? I don't know, why do I always have to check? Day 10 of the 31 Days of Tarot Challenge. I'm going to get the question out of the way at the beginning because, to be honest, I don't have that much to say about it, so I'm going to say that first. The question is, what is a card you don't want to see pop up in a tarot reading and why? And I'm going to do the answer that's going to irritate everybody and say there aren't any. I really am a firm proponent that every single tarot card has something to say in every single position, in every single reading. There is always something to be said by any card in any position for any question. Now, you may not get it right away. You may have to sit there and think about it. I love having, let's say, positive cards come up in a shadowed position, or a shadow card come up in a positive position. Or a light position, as I prefer to call them. So I love that dichotomy, or that sense of like, okay, I've got to twist my thinking around to figure out what the message is. But there's always a message, and so there aren't any. Like there's no way that I could look at any of them. Just looking through the wild unknown, and there's just no way that I could pick any of these cards and say I don't like these cards to show up, because if it shows up, there's a reason why it shows up, and even if there's not a reason, if you don't even believe there's a reason it shows up, there's something to be said. You know, iconically, archetypally, there's something to be said for every card. You know, the 78 cards as they stand wouldn't have lasted as long as they have if they didn't have each one have something to say, some viewpoint. Sorry, my hair is wet, and it's heavy right now, and so it's kind of slipping down. I can feel it. But yeah, I really do believe that. Like, it's not just kind of trying to get out of a question, because they have all lasted for a reason and they all fit into the cycle for a reason. There's no way that I can pick one to say that I wouldn't want it to have it show up. So I just look at it, if something, that doesn't mean, like I said, sometimes you have to really stop and look and say, okay, what are you trying to say? Like, this is interesting. But for me, it's kind of like a puzzle challenge. Like, how is this fitting? And then all of a sudden it will click and you'll be like, oh, that's why you're here. That's why you showed up for this and that. So I can't say any that I wouldn't want to show up. So there you go. There's I'm sure some people consider that to be a cop-out answer, but it is what I believe. So that's the way it is. This is going to be rather short. I've said 5 million times, Sundays are my busy days, both for my regular job, and I'm generally doing tarot readings also. So it's generally my busy day. And so I have, readings to do. I have a Skype Lenormand lesson to do. I have an ad to do. So I have a variety of things to do. I've spent the morning. I had done the Tarot of Delphi walkthrough once, filmed it and everything, and then I felt like I needed to give it even more justice. I sat down and went through, it was about 5 pages of kind of mapping out the cards with who their classical or mythological or societal influence, what they chose for that particular card to be. So I'm talking about the Tarot of Delphi. And so I went through this card by card and through the guidebook, and kind of just get a feel for who were the people, the historical people, the mythological people, the situations that were pulled from. Because I'm telling you what, and I'm going to be uploading that walkthrough tonight, but I'm telling you what, like this, the curator of this deck, which is J.D. Hildegard Hinkle, I believe did an amazing job of not just sticking artwork into the tarot system, but of picking mythological, historical people and situations that blended beautifully with the tarot. And so what I feel like she really paid homage to was both tarot, the the mythological archetype as well as the actual painting itself. And so that is a tremendous amount of work to not just say, okay, well, this image looks like a Three of Cups. Okay, this looks like, okay, well, let's just stick this in over here because it looks like it might be that, which is, I think, a problem with many decks that are created out of pre-existing artwork. This one, no. This one, there is depth here that they, you know, it's the story behind the painting that really connects with the card. And so I just completely impressed with this. And so I redid the walkthrough after going through and kind of charting all this out myself so that I could kind of give it a little bit more justice and hope that by the end of that walkthrough you can really see how much I think work was put into this particular deck to make it so amazing. So I did that today, which I really shouldn't have done. I had other things to do, but I was going to go edit actually the Tarot of Delphi walk that I had done originally to put up, which is perfectly fine. I did touch on all these things, but you know, after kind of working with it a little bit, and then like I said, then going, I said, you know what, I gotta do that a little bit better. So I redid that. So that will be going up tonight. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. This is going to be quite a short video just because A, yesterday's was extremely long, and B, I just have a lot of things to do, which is okay. These don't have to be super, super long every time. But I still wanted to pull a card. I'm going to do another card from, I've heard, was it Ametrine, I think? I hate to say because I always feel like I know I'm going to be wrong and then I said it, but I want to say it was Ametrine maybe. Somebody had said in the comments of yesterday's video that her name is pronounced Raven. She spells it differently, but which makes sense as soon as she said that. Raven Felon, I suppose, is her name. I'm going to use that messenger deck again because I'm just enjoying it at the moment, so why not? And a lot of my other new ones are in order because I'm going to be doing walkthroughs of them, and so why not? We can have 2 in a row. A lot of snow still. The streets are covered in snow. There's snow all over the trees. My car is drowning in snow. Yeah, I didn't leave the house. I did laundry and, all the things that I just said. And I ordered pizza, I'm not going to lie. And the pizza place, oh, see, they just, 2 cars just about slipped themselves because right now it's getting a little darker and it's so cold out. And it was so warm yesterday, so it was like a big shift. And so it's getting darker and all that slush on the road is freezing up. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. One nice thing about working from home, I have no need to go anywhere when it's nasty out. And living in the Northeast United States, the winter gets pretty nasty. And there is like a little store just like right down the street. So if I really, just need food, I can inch my way down, not even probably a mile, and be able to get food. So there's no reason for me to really risk life, limb, or vehicle. When the roads are bad, I just hunker down. So let's just see what card are we going to get for January 10th. Oh, one of them completely flipped around because I am probably now have these all mixed up, but that's all right. I will have to put them back right side up. I don't like my decks to get all flip-flopped around. I'm sorry, then I just had to reshuffle again. So I just made that even longer than it needed to be. We're going to see what card we get for January 10th. And we got the beautiful, I love this card. Look at how beautiful that is. I've done a couple readings for myself with this deck. One, when I did the walkthrough, the kind of tree one, this showed up in the, I think it was in the South position. But I've also done a couple other readings for myself, and this one keeps showing up. And they're well shuffled, so I do pay attention to those things. But I love this observant silence, and it almost looks like he's got a flame on his forehead. there, if you can see that. I love foxes. I tend to think of them as wand energy. I think because they are in the wand suit of the Shadowscape Tarot. And because I guess the coloration, the redness and things, so I do think about that. And so when you're thinking about the creative process, which is not what this card is about, I'm just saying what it's saying to me. When you think about the creative process and the creative energy, the transformative energy of the fire suit, but then you're having a moment of observing in silence, I think that's a beautiful blend there, because yes, the fire suit is about acting and creating and doing and manifesting and transforming, all these kind of ing words, but observing is an ing word too. And it's sometimes before we get into that activity of manifesting and creating, we need to step back and just kind of observe and kind of think about things, see how things are fitting together, kind of do that sort of just be still for a minute, because then you might have that bam out of the what are those called, the gates, in a horse race. All of a sudden you have this like very tense. It's not silence because the horses are kind of moving and stuff, I guess, but there's that sense of kind of banked energy, and then the gates open, it's like bam, it just goes out. I know this is terrible, you guys are gonna mock me, but in World of Warcraft there is a PvP battleground. I love PvP, which is player versus player for those of you who don't play games. If you play a game and you're playing within the environment of the game, it's PvE, which is playing against the environment or the game itself. But when you do PvP battles, you're playing against other players. And so, you don't have that in a PvE environment. You can learn a routine of a dungeon, say, or something, and once you get timing down and things like that, it's easier. But in PvP, you never know who your opponent is, and that changes things up. Random geek babbling, but I remember the very first PvP battle battleground that I went into in World of Warcraft was has this big, and it's one of the biggest one, and I can't even remember how many people are in it, because on each side there's quite a few people, and so you're inside of this cave and everybody is clumped, like literally everybody. You can see this big swarm of people that are in the gates waiting for this, and it's like in a winter place area. And what is it even called? See, it's terrible. It's been a while since I've actually played World of Warcraft PvP, because I shifted a few years ago to playing other things. But anyways, the gate goes up, and then all of a sudden everybody pours out of this thing and runs. So it's one path, this mountain path that you're going down, and there's just that sense of just bankedness, and then bam, you're out the gates. We have just taken a very strange turn of events. But that is this energy that I get here, although this isn't that banked. This is very serene energy. But there is that sense, because I'm seeing fire. There is that sense of banking your fire, banking your energy, so that you can really sink into it, really observe things, really see how everything is going to work, and then bam, manifest. Who's that cook to go bam? It like tosses in certain herbs and things like that. It's like bam, emerald. Is it emerald? I don't know. I do like watching cooking shows. But that's what I'm getting out of this. Take a moment, step back from the situation and just observe, and then be ready, because when it starts to build and you're going to know when it's right, then start manifesting and creating. But this is a time, right, you need to maybe step back and observe some things. So there you go. A very rambling, wandering card of the day, but I hope that you all have a really wonderful Sunday, and enjoy your people's days of rest. Tomorrow will be my day of rest. But if you're watching this on Monday, have a happy Monday and beginning of your week. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow.